Welcome everyone to another episode of Frank Finance, where we can get your honest financial information and your questions answered. Today's discussion is going to be about debt. The example is going to be talking about someone that would have the cash set aside to pay off a loan, and to make things really sweet, we're going to assume that loan is a 0% interest loan. What do you think would happen? Do you think that it's smarter to sit on the cash and invest it? Or do you think that it's smarter to pay it off and get more cash flow and invest that? Let's get to it. Okay, so what I have in front of you here is a year one start for the two examples that I was giving. So option 1 represents sit on the cash. Option 2 represents pay off the debt. So option 1, cash 5,000. Option 2, no cash left. Option 1 has 5,000 assets. Option 2 also has 5,000 assets from the purchase. Option 1 now has taken on 5,000 in debt, and option 2 doesn't have debt. So their net worths are dead equal. Now when it comes to cash flow, so before any debt was acquired, the assumed cash flow was $100 for this individual. The cash flow goes from 100 and the loan's worth 100, so there's now a 0 cash flow. Option 2, 100 cash flow as well, but no impact from the loan, meaning they still keep 100 to invest every month forward. So before we open it up and show you it, the answer is it depends. Imagine that, it depends. But what I will tell you as we're going through this, what you're gonna notice is do not borrow for your future for today. Don't take away from your future for today unless you like to gamble a little bit, because investing today with a large chunk of money has a higher risk of loss than dollar cost averaging in the future. So here we go. So here are the options. I did 3 intersections at the end of year 5 just so that we could get a nice look and understand what we need to think about when I say it depends. Okay, so year 5 with a 2% interest rate reinvested, option 2 wins dramatically. It's a significant beat. So if you are going to take your 5,000 and invest it in something like a bond or something that will only give you 2% back on an annual percentage yield, then you're going to want to take option 2 and pay it off. Now, what if you could get 5%? As you notice, the cash value at the end of the 5 year on the 5% is actually getting a little tighter, but again, still makes most sense to physically pay off the debt now. And then year 5 for a 10%, that's when it starts to actually make sense to hold on to your cash. If this 5,000 from year 1 start is able to maintain a 10% growth rate for all 5 years, you're going to actually come ahead with holding on to the cash. But again, 10% per year in today's market, potentially, but with everything that's going on, everyone's fearful of a bubble pop and so forth. It's just, don't borrow for the future betting that today you're going to get a better rate. And remind, all of these loans that we're talking about are based on a 0% interest. If you add interest to any of these, it's always a no-brainer to pay it off. Don't borrow for your future to try to gamble today. Pay off today, let tomorrow build through dollar cost averaging. That would be my personal opinion, and the math doesn't lie on this one. For those that want to see what I did, just so you get comfortable with it, there's an amortization schedule here that does all 60 months. You can see it's grouped up here to go all 60. And what it's trying to do here is say start with 5,000, start with 0. There's no adds here except for the interest. And then it just builds itself up. 2%. So if I change this to 10%, you can see how it builds up and it beats it. So hopefully you enjoyed this topic today. I really wanted to put this out there because I made the foolish mistake of going after a 0% interest rate. I thought that that was the smart decision until I actually put it down on pen and paper and went through it and realized that why in the world would I take out a 0% interest rate if I have the cash to pay off the loan? So I hope you enjoyed this video and this was an eye-opener, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye now.